Hello friends, let's start today another chapter from your fourth unit, Disaster and Disaster Management in India. There are a lot of disasters which happens in our day-to-day life and once in a year, and many other problems which we cannot stop, but all what we can do to reduce the aftermath or the dangerous situation after that, like tsunami came, many earthquakes came, many gas blasting or many bomb blasting, many other things. Sometimes it can be man-made, that we can stop. Sometimes it is natural. Anyway, as a +1 student, you must be aware of such problems and how we can reduce such problems. And what are the steps that we can take to reduce the amount of dangerous situation after that, to mitigate the aftermath and the consequences. That's why you should know. There are two types of disaster. One is man-made, another one is natural. So how we can equip ourselves to stop all this? It's high time that we become aware of and equip ourselves to face impending disasters. Here is an essay by who wrote this essay. I hope this is clear from here. Anjana Majumdar. Okay, essay by her. Disaster and Disaster Management in India. Disaster is a very common phenomenon for humanity. Nowadays, it's very clear. It's a common phenomenon. Human beings have experienced a disaster in different styles still from different forms since time immemorial. The latest world disaster report suggests us that disasters have increased both in frequency and in intensity. So by the number and its strength, okay, both in number and in strength, disasters have increased. And human beings are facing or have been facing this disaster, natural or man-made, from the time immemorial, means from the beginning itself, from the beginning of the time, or whatever we remember from the time, from all those parts, we have been facing such problems in the life. That's the first part, okay. And people are becoming more and more vulnerable to disasters of all types. Vulnerable means susceptible, means more chance to happen. So people are vulnerable means there are more chance for people to happen in disasters of all types. For example, which include earthquakes are there, floods, cyclone and landslide, droughts, accidents, plane crashes, forest fires, floods, cyclones, landslides, droughts, accidents, plane crashes. I hope you can number such things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, forest fires, etc. There are many other disasters also which humans are facing nowadays. This is quite true in the case of both developed and developing countries. There is no difference between developed and developing countries. Both are facing such problems, okay. And you can see in different countries like in the UK and France, what happened, the heat waves, the floods in the UK and France, heat waves in Europe, particularly the one in France, which time in 2003 at the European country, claimed loads of lives. All those, see, floods in UK and France, and waves, heat waves in France 2003, everything, they took lives of many people. In the last few years, America has also faced devastating, means really terrible and important and something very serious, devastating disasters in the form of tornadoes, hurricanes and all different types of wind, like cyclones, okay. They cause a great loss of lives and property. Even though the progress in the technology is helping human beings to reduce the impact of the disaster, it is still inadequate. Our systems, our technology, all help us for what? To reduce the impact, to reduce the consequences, but it's not inadequate, means it's inadequate, not apt or not altogether enough for all the problems. Okay, it's not enough for all the problems. Our technology, there is a direct correlation between higher human development and better preparedness to manage disasters. There should be such a correlation. For example, like if we have good development, then we must have a good preparedness also. For what? To face this like situation. And the countries which have lower human development are more vulnerable to many other risks and problems. That's very clear, right? Developed countries, they can face and they can come back after disaster very soon. Think about Japan. When they faced with the tsunami, they recovered very fast. Think about other countries like India. After we got tsunami and other problems, we took a lot of time, right? Okay, like that. Look at this. Of all the disasters, floods are the most common, right? Floods are common, and followed by windstorms are there, drought and earthquakes. However, all these are problems, and drought is the deadliest. Means if people they don't get food, there is no rainwater, nothing else, then what happened? People die a lot, accounting for 48% of death due to natural disasters. So 48% of death through the natural disasters caused by what? Drought. Of all the continents, from Asia, Europe, Latin America, from all the continent, Asia has the highest number of death from disasters, and unfortunately or fortunately, India, Bangladesh and other countries, China, they situate in Asian countries. That's why they have lot of problems comparing other countries and other continents. India. So why India? Now in this part we are going to discuss why India is vulnerable to disaster, because of its geographical and geological situation. Like, so geographically and location, and geological means like it has the map lies like there are rivers, there are perennial rivers and peak of mountain, snow-clad mountains, higher mountains are there. That's geographical. And geology also, like the way our earth situate, there are many mountains. Okay, you already know geographical means the way India is, there are rivers or other things, and geological also means the way the earth, like there are many mountains. Both of the reason India is prone to accident, like coastline, it's long coastline, snow-clad peaks and high mountain ranges, and the perennial rivers means long-lasting, or means very long rivers in the north combined to add this problem. Means even though geographical and geological situation with all these rivers, perennial rivers and long coastlines, snow-clad peaks, everything cause for the disasters in India. India, which has only 2% of the total geographical area, has to support 18% of the total population of the world. Totally, when we compare the world, we have 2% of earth and 18% of population. You already know that. Therefore, it is tremendous. There is a tremendous pressure on the natural resources. That's why people will take use of the available resource to make homes, to build homes and all other things. So there is a tremendous pressure on the world, on the natural resources. So directly or indirectly that leads to earthquakes and many other problems. Okay, floods will be there, drought, landslide, to all this, it leads to all those problems. And look at India. We are talking about India again. See, the northern region of India, think about Kashmir and that place. Northern region of India faces problems due to landslides, flood, droughts and earthquakes. because this region falls under the seismic zone 3 and 5. See, seismic zones means related with earthquake, when it trample or look at the shivering or the jerk of earth when earthquake happens. Depends upon, we have some classification. In that classification, northern area of India comes in the seismic zone 3 and 5. The eastern region is confronted with heavy floods in the perennial rivers, which include the Brahmaputra, Ganga, etc. In that rivers also they have problems. Drought, heat waves, hailstorms, cyclones, heavy winds and earthquakes are also common in this region. The northeastern region encounter floods, landslide and earthquakes. So all this comes talk about the region. This northeastern region comes in the seismic zone 4 and 5. See, in this part, in this paragraph, we are talking about different parts of India and their problems. Okay. And the western region is widely known for severe drought, wind erosion of wind erosion of land and soil, flood and cyclones. This area is also prone to earthquakes. The southern region, particularly the coastal region, is like Kerala and other part, okay, is vulnerable to cyclone, sea erosion, tsunami and landslide. The island of Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep are confronted means face with the problems of sea erosion. Why I'm not explaining all this? This is an essay. It's very clear here, problems. Okay, so it is not needed to explain a lot about it. Now this part is talking about different parts of India. Now we are talking the northern part of India and Kerala. Read it well, then you will get it, and read the textbook also, you will understand it very simply. Among all disasters, what happened? Come to another point. Among all disasters in India, tsunami is the deadliest or is a relatively new phenomenon for Indian people. Due to lack of an adequate warning system, the tsunami of 2004 devastated means taken large portion of the coastal region and Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Andhra Pradesh. That's it. In 2004, I don't know how many of you were alive at that time. Okay. Yeah, many of you. Maybe that the year you came to world, most of you. So at that time, what happened, 2004 there was a tsunami. Okay, at that time I was in 8th standard or 7th standard, almost at that time. Okay, it was my high school days, and I still remember we were collecting money to send to those people. There were many problems. It devastated, that tsunami took many coastal areas of India, especially Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and other parts of India. Besides the Andaman and Nicobar Island, it claimed a large number of lives and destroyed property worth crores of rupees. And it destroyed property of crores of rupees. And here, India has faced a number of disasters, ranging from natural disasters like floods, earthquake, cyclone, tsunami, drought and landslide to man-made disaster. India faced both natural disaster and man-made, like Bhopal gas tragedy in 1984. During this century, India has witnessed some major disasters which include Gujarat earthquake in 2001, the Mumbai Gujarat floods in 2005, the tsunami in 2004, the Uttarakhand flash floods, that hurricane Falin in coastal Orissa and Andhra Pradesh in 2013. All this year, look at all these years, 2004, 13, 18, and just number and with like a timeline, right, points, how many disasters India faced. You will get all this and you can remember very soon. The direct and indirect impacts of disasters, either natural or industrial, are always damage, destruction and death. When disaster strikes, the lifeline support system, namely communication, power supply, water supply, drainage, etc. are damaged. Moreover, healthcare and hospitals are also put under severe stress. Listen, what happens when disasters happen? There will be disasters, either natural or industrial, are always damage, destruction and death. Disasters strike lifeline support system, that will stop, like communication, power supply, water supply, drainage, everything will, another thing, the hospital, health system also we will have imbalance in all that. Commercial and economic activities are also badly affected. Life almost comes like a standstill, means we cannot move forward. And behind that, apart from that, there are psychological traumas also. There are other problems also, like mental problems which we face. Suppose if we lost anyone in the disaster and we feel stressed, and government should take, whenever we are thinking of remedial measures for disaster, they should think about mental support also, not only the physical support. Psychological rehabilitation also should be given ample importance. The impact is almost the same even in the case of man-made disaster like riots. Like riots means problems or war between two people or two parties. From all this, even though same thing happens, disasters happen whether it is man-made or natural, we have real problems at that time. The most affected are poor section of society. That's very clear, because they have to go for their daily earnings. That's why if there is any problem, they can't go. Now you can think about this COVID pandemic and COVID situation also. Who are affected more? Is the higher people? No, they can survive even without a one-day job. But there are coolie wages, coolie employees, wage employees are there. They cannot go for work and they are really in a tough time nowadays. Then in some natural disasters like cyclone, tsunami and earthquake, it is a building structure which becomes the cause of destruction and death. That's also a problem. When there is a small earthquake, our building is demolished or destroyed. Because of what? The construction of the building is not taken in a proper manner or according to the law of our construction. Like in our countries, like in developing countries, only 30% of the buildings are made in accordance with the law. That's why without with a small earthquake it fall down. That's why we are suggesting one thing. Similarly, the lack of master plan and the inferior quality of materials used for construction also aggravate the casualties arising out of the disaster. So all these are the problems and the reasons why there are many dangers in case of disasters. Okay. Therefore, both private and public buildings should be constructed according to the guidelines prescribed by law. That's a point. Whenever we make a building, we should follow the instruction of government, and not only the government scientific way of constructing something. You should consult an engineer. Then only you can survive when there are problems. Moreover, construction should strictly adhere to the master plan approved by the government and authorities. Above all, good quality. You should use good. First of all, understand the law. Second thing, use good quality materials. Third thing, get permission from authorities. Okay. The UNTAC means United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination, along with the Government of India, has jointly prepared an action plan for cities and towns vulnerable to earthquake. The existing building should be technically assessed, and individual owners and group housing authorities should be informed about the weakness in the construction. So they did one thing. They analyzed every building and they will give an information to the owners that is there any problem regarding your building. Presently, it is estimated that around 1 million buildings are constructed every year in India. Around 1 million buildings are constructed around India. And what happened? Equal number of them get damaged in India. Why it happens? As a result of disaster. Why damage? As a result of disaster. In order to reduce the damage to buildings, a monitoring mechanism should be set up in disaster-prone areas, which must act proper coordination with the concerned authorities to ensure the fulfillment of building codes. See, so to mitigate this, what we can do? There should be a team What is the name of that team? Monitoring mechanism. So they should monitor, is there any problem for the building, then they should inform the authorities and they should take the remedial measures. That's an idea which we are taking. In the case of disaster management, the state government play a major role while the central government only plays a facilitating role. That's a technical knowledge you must have. In case of disasters, central government is leading and state government has to do many things. At the state level, there is a state level disaster management committee consisting of the senior secretaries of various departments and the representatives of different NGOs. So here we are talking about the system of our disaster management. In state level, we have a committee. In that committee, we have consisting of senior secretaries of various departments and different NGOs. National level, we have a crisis management team. That is, cabinet secretaries are headed that, and from the major department, other secretaries from the major departments are also part of that. The central government, with proper coordination with various ministries, provides necessary support for the state. Central government give maximum support, like what, defense, they will give defense service, airdropping service, rescuing searches, transport of relief goods, everything, and they will give ferry service also. And availability of rail, ferry service means water, boat and the ship service in the sea. Health person and medical support. Look at this. In this paragraph, you can see the support of central government to the state at the time of disaster. Okay. Rehabilitation is an integral part of disaster management. I mean, if there is any problem, we should rehabilitate them and we should take care of them. Okay. Since disasters are non-routine events, they require non-routine responses from the effective management and rehabilitation. This means that the government cannot rely on normal procedures to implement appropriate responses. There should be proper coordination among the various departments of the government to bring speedy relief to the victim. We need rehabilitation. Government, state or central, cannot do it very fast. So they must have a proper coordination from the ground level government sectors like ward, panchayat. They should coordinate it well, then only victims can get the relax very soon. Moreover, the rescue team require the learning of special skills like attitudes in dealing with disasters. Additionally, we should train them, rescue team. Additionally, they need to be well equipped with the latest technologies. Now we people have no any technology, nothing. We are simply jumping into the water and rescuing someone. Apart from that, we should use technologically advanced equipment to rescue someone. Okay. Disaster management has assumed greater importance in recent times. The whole purpose of disaster management is not to. So from all this essay, I was talking it very fast, and because it's an essay, it's very simple. Many exaggerations are there, repetitions are there. One thing, all this, why we talk all this, we don't want to prevent all this, but we will be able to mitigate or definitely mitigate their impact. We cannot avoid, completely stop or give a different way to all those problems, but we can mitigate and reduce the impact and the problems caused by this. You look at the glossary, seismic zone, I told you, and this is another one, vulnerable, susceptible for the problem. And I hope this is okay with you. Are okay with this? Go through the textbook, read it well, very simple, and it was talking like a good Indian English. If there is any word which you already know, even I told it, I explained it, you can contact me and ask me at the time of live class. Hope that is clear. Thank you so much.